Hello and welcome to OLA 2020. Thank you so much for joining us in this session on starting a new social media platform. My name is Rebecca Lynham, and I was the conference planning chair for this year's conference, and I am so happy to get to moderate this session today. I'm joined by our session's presenter, Marla Lockley. Marla is the Public Services Librarian at East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma, where she oversees the Outreach and Circulation departments. She received a BS in Human Development and Family Studies and a Master's in Library Science from the University of North Texas. Her professional interests include open educational resources, user experience, and leadership. So I'll be back in at the end of the session with some questions for Marla, but for now, I want to turn it over to her for her presentation.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to do a quick, this was going to be an Idea Lab session. So this is just a quick overview of things that you want to consider before you start a social media platform. This year we started, well, in August, I should say, last August, we started Twitter and Instagram. And so I want to talk a little bit about the things that we considered before we did that, and then some of the limitations that we've come across that we didn't know about, but it would have been nice to know about before. So the first consideration is audience. It's important to consider what platforms do your audience use. If you're a public library, your audience is everybody, but maybe there's a specific audience that you want to reach, like teens or young adults. So the Pew Research Center is a great place for statistics on general populations in the nation and what social media platforms they use, what age groups use different platforms, all of that. Or you can do more of a local survey. I've seen some libraries have jars with a picture, the Twitter logo, the Instagram logo, the Facebook logo, and then they have something laying out where you put a piece of paper or whatever in the jar that you use most often. So that can just be a quick interactive display type survey of finding out what platforms your audience uses. We looked at like what platforms other successful organizations on campus are using, and then decided that we really needed to be on Instagram and Twitter. So we went ahead and took the plunge, and it's been really great. So second consideration was content. What kind of content do you need to post? And what kind of content do you have the capacity to produce? If you are a one-person social media team, it may be really difficult to produce content for 3 different platforms on a regular basis, especially if you have to do a highly visually pleasing image for Instagram, and then more text-based for Twitter, and then kind of both for Facebook. So think about what kind of content you need to produce, and if that content is viable on the platform, and if you will have the capacity to make content that will be successful on that platform. And then finally, maintenance. So you can see the rest of the word here. Will you need to post from a PC, or can you post from a mobile device? That's a big one if you add an Instagram account, as it's much more difficult to post to Instagram from a PC unless you have a third-party app that can help bridge that gap. How will you record and pass on account information? You definitely do not want to make an account and then say you leave that organization and they don't have a way to get into that account anymore. Will you have one person posting or a team of people? Will you have some kind of document talking about a specific voice or style, so that even though you have a team of people posting, it all sounds like one person? And then will you need to gather statistics? And does the platform that you want to add allow you to gather the statistics that you would need? So some of our limitations with Twitter that we've discovered are the character limit, of course. They're up from 140 characters from when they first started to now 280. Tweets tend to get buried, and so you have to post more often if you want to stand out. Whereas on Facebook and Instagram, posting more often may actually be a disadvantage. You need to have a Twitter ads account or third-party app to post links with preview images. So, on Facebook, when you post an image and there's a picture that pops up and it makes a nice visual post for you, that doesn't happen automatically on Twitter. So you need to go a different route. You also cannot edit tweets. So that may affect how you post content if you have two people review the content before you post. You have a little bit more difficulty scheduling posts. And with Facebook, they have a scheduler built right in. And with Twitter, you need to use TweetDeck or another third-party platform such as Hootsuite or Later to schedule posts. We use Later. It is a free platform for certain, which comes with limits, of course. But so far, we've been able to use the free platform within those limits, and it's worked out fine. And then you have to go to Twitter Analytics to gather statistics. And here are some considerations we found when using Instagram. You cannot hyperlink links in posts. You can only hyperlink to links in your bio. So say you want to promote a specific database and provide a link to that database. You really can't do that on Instagram. People will have to copy and paste the link into their browser and then go. So we don't use Instagram as much for that purpose. Instagram is primarily photos and some videos, which takes us to the next point. They can only be 60 seconds unless you post to IGTV. And then this includes videos that you create, or say you want to share a YouTube video, they can only be 60 seconds. And as I mentioned earlier, it's more challenging to upload content from your PC if you don't have a third-party app like Hootsuite or Later. Otherwise, you just have to upload content from your phone. You have to use a third-party app to share posts on your page. If someone else posts something that you want to share, you have to use the app to do it. You have to use a third-party app to schedule posts. And I will say, managing 3 platforms, you really do have to schedule your posts. It just makes life a lot easier to sit down once a month or twice a month and schedule all your posts for that month. The statistics are in Creator Studio, which requires a Facebook account, and you have to connect those accounts. So if you don't have a Facebook account, you want to add Instagram, but you need to gather statistics, just be aware of that you would need to make a Facebook account to be able to gather statistics. And you also have to gather the statistics every week. You can't access them more than a week ago. Okay, so now I know I'm definitely not the expert on all things social media, and that you may have some input that I would love to hear, and that the others participating in the session would love to hear. So I've made a Wakelet. This link there will take you to the Wakelet. And you can go up here to Edit Collection. And then you can add documents, you can add links, and you can add text. So I put the slides here, and then some questions that you can answer if you would like. We do have a social media guide that I've shared here. I could only share it as a PDF, so if you would like a Microsoft Word version to be able to edit it, just send me an email. And then I have some other questions and an open space down here. So you can, whatever question you want to answer, click that plus sign, and then upload any of those documents or formats. And I will be checking this during the time of the OLA conference from July 29th through the 31st. And I would really love to hear from you. Maybe I mentioned a limitation and you actually know a workaround for it. So I definitely want to hear about that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Marla. I loved that. I do have one follow-up question. You kind of talked about if you're a one-person social media team, or if you have a team, do you have any tips for kind of deciding who runs those accounts, whether one person runs multiple accounts? If you have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, should the same person run all 3 of those if possible, or is it easier to have it broken out? What are some considerations to kind of make that decision?
Yeah, so you definitely want all the people running your accounts to be communicating with each other. So your specific layout may depend on your context or your organization. So if you do want to have 3 different people running an account, they just need to be in communication pretty much constantly about what they're posting. You don't want to be posting contradictory things. You want everyone to be using the same voice and style. If you're one person running multiple accounts, you want to be aware of cross posting, which means that you post the same thing to every single platform. Sometimes that's okay and sometimes it's not. If we have a big announcement, we will post it everywhere, but your users will get tired of seeing the same thing on every single platform. So we have some series that we do only on Twitter, some only on Instagram, and then some only on Facebook, so that they also have a reason to follow you on more than one platform. So that would be the 2 things I would consider when you're deciding who is going to be posting.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you again for presenting at OLA 2020. And thanks to all of you viewers for joining us in this session. Marla has her contact page up here. If you have any other questions, shoot her an email or, of course, interact through that Wakelet that she created. I love that. If you enjoyed this session and if you feel like you're well on your way to being a social media rock star and also want to get more involved in OLA, I would encourage you to consider joining the OLA Marketing Committee. That team works to help get the word out about OLA events and about the great work of libraries across Oklahoma. Please remember to complete the session evaluation in the OLA conference app for this session, and we hope you will join us for many more conference sessions in the future. Thanks so much and have a great day. Thank you for joining us for this Idea Lab presentation. Idea Labs are sponsored by Envisionware. Envisionware is a leading provider of self-service and library efficiency solutions. Today, over 10,000 libraries use Envisionware products to enrich the service offerings of their libraries and to empower their customers to do more for themselves. Envisionware offers 22 systems, including the reservation service, LPT1 print control, one-stop for self-service circulation, RFID and AMH, the 24-hour library, and the new tablet station powered by Hublet. For more information about Envisionware, visit www.envisionware.com. Thanks to Envisionware for their support of the 2020 OLA conference.